Hello, plant life people. I see the chat is already active, which is amazing. Welcome. It is my second demo in my new giant kitchen, which is pleasing me. Lots of room. I love it. So I'm really excited that everyone is here joining us today because I have another super cheap, super easy, pretty healthy recipe that is vegan. So that's the whole point of my Plant Life Canada channel, is to show everybody how easy vegan cooking is, and show classic recipes and just how cheap and easy it is. Because I think a lot of people, when they think about going vegan, think it's going to be too hard. What are you going to eat? And I'm here to show you there's lots of stuff you can eat. And my oven is already beeping. So today in this video, we're going to be making a classic tomato soup. And usually my partner Frank makes the soup, but today I am making it. The recipe was inspired by a website called My Darling Vegan, but we made it our own. So I am going to show you today how Frank has shown me to make this amazing tomato soup. So again, I'm going to show you the counter space that we have, which is huge. Amazing. And we have some pretty simple recipes. So I just have this induction stove, which I'm not used to cooking with, so we could have a live cooking demo disaster today. Not sure yet. But so super simple, cheap ingredients. We've got 1 onion, we've got 3 cloves of garlic, half a red pepper, we've got some carrot, and a can of tomatoes is the basic ingredients. So you can't really go wrong with that, right? So tomato soup is one of those classic recipes that, you can add rice to it, you could add noodles to it, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it, but it's just such a catch-all recipe. So we're going to go with that today. So let's get our stove going here if we can. I've never used it before, but we're going to see how it goes. So I'm cooking this recipe with no oil, but you can use oil to grease the pan there, but I'm going to use some water. And we're going to see how fast this heats up on my induction stove that my best friend Candace gave me. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put in a carrot. So this is half a carrot chopped. Oh, we missed some there. And then we're also going to put in some red pepper. So the original recipe didn't have these extra ingredients, but Frank was explaining to me that they just add a bunch of flavor, which is great. It'll add like the depth of flavor, right? So let's get that going. You can also use veggie broth to cook with, which is actually a little bit better, but we're adding veggie broth later. So we'll get that going. So we're going to let this cook. And I'm going to like jack this up. Let's jack it up. Maybe not that far up. So we're working on this. But while this is cooking down, I wanted to just mention something that I forgot to do when I had my first demo here in Orleans, and that is something that's really important to me that I wanted to do, was to do a land acknowledgement. I'm in a new area, and I wanted to do a land acknowledgement. So I looked it up, and for the city of Ottawa, it is built, which includes Orleans, on unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory. So I wanted to just make sure that I acknowledge that while I'm new here on this land, and it's giving me the opportunity cook these veggies down. But it's something that I want to look up, and I plan on looking up a little bit more about what was going on in this territory before we all got here. So with that said, this induction burner is wild. Look, it's already cooking. So I've got lots of water in here, which is fine because the carrots actually need to soften down. That's another reason to put them in first, is that they need to get nice and soft. And then we're going to go in with our 1 chopped onion. Oh, the beeping is loud. Well, this is something you learn with this induction stove. So we're going to go with our onions and get it all translucent. And it doesn't matter how you chop these veggies, because we're actually going to blend it later. Or you're going to blend it later. I'm not going to blend it on camera. And then I have 3 cloves of garlic. Use as much garlic as you want because garlic is amazing. So let's get that in there. So you're going to cook these veggies down. And I like cooking with water like this actually, because you don't have to worry about how high the heat is like you do when you're cooking with oil. You could jack it up and save some time. So we're going to get that down. And so some of the other ingredients we're going to use once we get everything in, I gave you the basic ingredients. We're also going to use some red pepper flakes, and we're going to have oregano in there for some flavor. And then another ingredient that's pretty important is some sugar. So I just have white sugar here because that's what we have on hand. But any kind of sugar in this recipe is going to cut the acidity of the tomatoes. So we're using just canned tomatoes, which are probably super fresh when they are canned, but you need to make sure that we're going to cut that acid flavor to get our flavor profile, right? So you want to get all your different sweet, sour, umami, and what's the other one? I'm losing track. You want to get all your flavor profiles in the recipe to make it taste really good. So you can see here a little bit that this oven is beeping, but the onions are getting translucent and our water is absorbing. So what we're going to add now, and hopefully not splash ourselves like crazy. So what you're going to use is a can of tomatoes. So I'm using a can of whole tomatoes. So this whole large can. Try not to tip it over, but you can also use diced tomatoes, but the whole tomatoes have like a nice flavor, and you're going to make sure that the liquid goes in too. So just watch out here. So that goes in. And so because these are whole tomatoes, as you're cooking, as this is heating up, you're going to want to squish them a little bit as you get started. But again, we're going to blend it. So this mixture here is going to cook down for a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit faster for the demo. But at this point, you're also going to add in your herbs and spices. So we're going to I'm just going to put a pinch of this in here. There we go. And then you're going to put in just about a quarter teaspoon of oregano. I thought originally it was not enough oregano, but a quarter teaspoon does come out in the flavors. So we're going to put that in. If you get to the end and you decide you want more flavor, go ahead and put it in. So, and we're also going to add our veggie stock. So this is just half a cup of veggie stock. And again, it's just going to give it a little bit of added liquid, but also a lot of depth of flavor there. So make sure you add that in. So we're going to cook this down. You can jack this up now. So what you want to do is let this cook down for about 20 minutes. So you're going to cook this down for 20 minutes until all the vegetables are completely soft. And you can start to squish your tomatoes sort of against the side of the pot like this with your spoon. So right now they're quite fresh. They're not really squishing for me. So you want to basically just cook this all down until everything is completely soft. So you're going to go about 20 minutes, and that's going to allow everything to cook and get the flavors really going. At that point, once you cook it for 20 minutes, you're going to let it cool down a little bit. It's a little boring looking at the pot of soup. So you're going to cook this down for 20 minutes, let the flavors go, you're going to taste it, and then that's when you're going to add your extra oregano if you need it, and you're going to add salt and pepper if you need it as well, and basically any other flavorings you can think of to make this soup taste delicious. So once you have cooked this down for 20 minutes, you're going to put it in a blender after it's a little bit cool, and you're going to blend it to the consistency that you like. So if you want more of like a bisque texture, you're going to leave some chunks in there, but again, they're whole tomatoes. You want to make sure that they're not super giant chunks, so you don't blend it too much if you want sort of a bisque. If you want a really nice thin soup, you can add more veggie stock, and then you can blend it down as long as you want to get that really nice, if you want that like classic nostalgic like canned tomato soup texture, blend it down as much as you want. And then what happens is you're going to get that classic tomato soup. So magic of television and magic of Frank, already have a pot of that going. So we're going to unplug our beepy oven back here, and we're going to get our pre-cooked pot of soup. So 1 second. Here it is. Ta-da! All done. I love that TV magic. It's not magic. It's hours, minutes of prep work before the video. So what you end up with is this beautiful, rich looking tomato soup. Look at that. So that texture, you know, we blended it up fairly thick. It's that nice, thick tomato soup. So check that out in the light. Amazing. So there's a couple of really awesome things you can do if you get your camera angle right to serve this up. So we have our bowl here, which probably is the wrong color bowl. Let's switch this bowl up for tomato soup. Because the bowl is the same color as the soup. Okay, so what you're going to do is put that all nice in your bowl. We've seasoned it and everything. And then what we've made here is, this might look like a glass of almond milk, but it is cashew sour cream. So all you do is you take half a cup of cashews and you can soak them overnight or boil them for a while if you don't have a chance to soak them, and that makes them soft. And you're going to do half a cup of cashews, a couple of like 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, some salt and water, and you're just going to blend it right up. So that's going to give us this wicked sour cream, and we're going to make this soup look super fancy. Here we go. So let's get this out of the way. There, camera angles. I'm learning this new kitchen. It's a little bit different. So you're going to add your sour cream. This sour cream ended up really thick, so I'm just can't get like a real fancy shape out of that. So you can eat it like that with a little bit of parsley. And it looks fantastic. So that's one way to serve it right there. But I have a really cool idea to make this soup extra special. So what I have is a grilled cheese sandwich. So a lot of soups, I think at fancy restaurants and traditionally a lot of soup is has croutons on it. So you could make your own croutons by toasting up some bread with olive oil and herbs. But I like to put a grilled cheese sandwich right on it. So I still have this type of knife, which you don't really use that much as a vegan unless you're cutting like cauliflower and stuff. So we're going to just chop this up. And we're going to chop that up into little crouton cubes. So this is a really cute idea for adults, but I guess if you had kids too, it'd be super fun. So there we go. And then you can just arrange these right on your soup. And look at that. Look how delicious that looks. So this is a way for you to have a grilled cheese sandwich and some soup, but eat it with a spoon. How cool is that? Amazing. Look. So that's a really kind of cute way to set that up. And it's a really nice way to make like a real meal out of a soup. But this recipe is great because it's just so cheap and easy to whip up. And then, but you still get that depth of flavor because you cook it for about 20 minutes and then you use your veggie stock and everything. So now is the taste test time. Exciting. And on top of the grilled cheese sandwich surprise, I have a special guest here to do the taste test. You want to come through? So we have today someone I talk about all the time, Frank. He's on the demo today. So you want to try the soup? Get a spoon? Usually Frank is at work when I'm doing my demos, but he's actually here today and he is going to taste test this soup.
Here we go.
Let's see. He usually makes it, but now I made it and he's taste testing it. Let's see how I did. Is it pretty good?
Very good.
What about the grilled cheese?
Nice and rich. The grilled cheese is really good.
Nice. I'm going to try it now. So that's awesome. So yeah, Frank usually makes this, but I did a good job at it.
You did?
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see how it goes. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it's nice and rich. It's not too much acidity in it.
No, the sugar really helped. Usually I like would avoid putting sugar in, but Frank was like, no, you have to put the sugar in, and it does help mellow it out. But when you get that mouthful, you have like you have the soup flavor, but then you get like the sour cream. And then if you we used Violife cheese for this grilled cheese, and then you get that like creamy cheese flavor. I love it. Really good recipe.
I like it too.
Delicious. So that is it, everybody. That is another edition of my live vegan cooking demo. I will link the original recipe in the comments below so you can try it out and try adding our carrots and red pepper as just added flavor. Thank you so much for attending the video. Thanks to Frank for helping me do the taste test.
Anytime.
Anytime. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will post all the information in the description either tonight or sometime soon. So you can always come back to this video to reference what we did differently about it.
Thanks, Candace.
Everyone's in the chat there. We'll follow up on the chat later, but we're going to let you go now and enjoy your dinner and go ahead and try making this recipe. Thanks. Here, you can eat that. That's our dinner now. Bye, everybody. End the stream.